Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Everyone, welcome to the show. So 35-year-old Nevada resident Josiah Kenyon was one of the most destructive and violent January 6 defendants. You guys are definitely going to remember him. This is the man who was wearing a Jack Skellington costume at the Capitol. If you guys don't know what this is, what a Jack Skellington costume is, go look up the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas. Kenyon was first captured on surveillance video illegally entering the building. He remained inside for approximately 25 minutes. And then after he exited the building, Kenyon was recorded punching a Capitol window. He then picked up a flagpole and he started ramming that into the window. He broke the glass even further. From there, he made his way down to the Lower West Terrace tunnel, where he just brutalized the police. So first, Kenyon pushed a large white object toward the officers. This thing was really big. It was bigger than a man, and it almost looked like a statue, but they've just never identified what it was. So then Kenyon was filmed throwing several objects at the police. He first threw some sort of unidentified object. Then he chucked a large orange traffic cone at them. Then Kenyon somehow obtained a table leg from other members of the mob who had broken into a Senate office, and they ripped apart furniture. So the table leg still had a nail sticking out of it. And Kenyon used that end of the table leg to repeatedly strike at the officers. He struck one officer in the head with the nail. Luckily, the officer was wearing a helmet, but the nail got stuck. It got lodged in the crease between the officer's helmet and his face shield. So when Kenyon pulled back on it, it lifted the officer's helmet off of his head and exposed him to chemicals that were in the air. So Kenyon struck other officers with his table leg, with the nail. He caused a lot of injuries. So Kenyon was arrested on December 1st of 2021, and he was charged with civil disorder, 3 counts of assaulting officers with a dangerous weapon, destruction of government property in excess of $1,000, entering a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon, disorderly conduct in a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon, physical violence in a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon, disorderly conduct in a Capitol, and physical violence on Capitol grounds. And for those who may be wondering why it took so long to arrest this guy, it's because essentially he was on the run with his family. Kenyon, you guys might remember, I gave an update about this. He was living in an RV with his wife and his young children, and he was unemployed. The police actually found him by accident. They sent someone out to do a welfare check on his family because they had been stopped for a traffic violation. So the police sent someone out and they found them, out in the middle of nowhere. They were in the middle of winter with these children in the RV, and they had no heat. The police then found a handgun. They found an AR-15 in the RV. This was when they took Kenyon into custody. And he admitted everything, but he claimed that he hates Trump and he is a communist, quote unquote, who, quote, was trying to raise the violence level. He said he was trying to incite the police to shoot all of the Trump supporters. But then Kenyon also said he hoped that he would be shot because he felt like he failed his family and they would be better off without him. And then he also said that at the time of the attack, he was depressed and, quote, really unbalanced. And his attorney basically admitted that his whole anti-Trump story was BS because she told the judge that essentially he fell for the election fraud conspiracy theories. So anyway, in September of 2022, Kenyon pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assaulting officers, and he was staring down the barrel of 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and up to $250,000 in fines. The prosecutor, however, requested only 88 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and then $2,000 in general restitution, as well as $41,315.25 for what they said was damage to the Capitol window. I'll explain why there's some discrepancy on that. So Kenyon also has a violent history. Between 2002 and 2021, Kenyon was convicted 5 times for crimes that include assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, loud/unreasonable noise, carrying a concealed dagger, and possession of a controlled substance. Now, in that last conviction for the controlled substance, Kenyon failed to appear at the sentencing hearing, so a bench warrant was issued for him. That was after the Capitol attack. That was in 2021. So U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols presided over this case, and I couldn't locate any details about what was said at the sentencing hearing, but the judge sentenced Kenyon to 72 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and over $43,000 in restitution. Now, I believe that the $43,000 is a combination of the damage to the window and to cover the cost of medical expenses for one of the officers that was injured. Because, like I said, in the sentencing memo, it says that they're asking for this 40-some thousand for the window. But then in news reports that I read, it said it was to cover the cost of injuries to an officer. So I think it was a combination. I'm not 100% sure on that, but here's the problem I have with this sentence. First of all, there's nothing in here about mandatory mental health treatment, right? It clearly needs it. And second, this guy should have received a 10-year sentence. Just like that retired police officer. There was a retired police officer named Thomas Webster. They were equally violent, but you look at it, one is getting 10 years, the other one gets only 6. The only difference here was the judge. Carl Nichols is a Trump appointee. So I'll let you guys figure out why he got off 4 years less than another guy who was just as violent. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yes, I get the other guy was a cop. He really should have known better. He was beating up on his own. I don't know if that amounts to 4 more years. So anyway, I will let you guys know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please become a supporter, even if it's one time. But if you can do it monthly, that is awesome. It helps to keep the show going. Love you guys. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.
Yeah.